All right, here we go. We got some participles. Today, we are going to learn the difference between a present active participle and a perfect passive participle. The first thing that we want to remember is where to divide the present system and the perfect system. These two red lines on the left-hand side is our present system, and on the right-hand side is our perfect system. So the tenses that we can have in the perfect system are the perfect and the pluperfect. The tenses that we can have in the present system are the present and the imperfect. So if somebody asks you what is a present active participle, you're not going to use kalawi or kalatas to describe a present active participle because they are part of the perfect system. I need to start with something on the present system side. Most of our present system stems come from the infinitives. We have two of them right here, kalare and dayikara. So if I'm looking at present active participles, scroll down here. We're going to start off with kalare. That's our infinitive, present stem. How do I get the actual stem? I take off the RE. See you later. Now, what makes Latin, what makes something a present active participle is adding NS to the stem. This is the nominative form. I want the genitive form as well. That tells me what declension it belongs to. You see this IS, we know that the present active participle is a third declension word. How do we translate the present active participle? We use ing. We know that kalare means to hide, so I use hiding as its translation. Whenever I have a perfect passive participle, once again, we don't want to deal with anything on this present side. We want to deal with something on the perfect side. So we start with one of our perfect stems. Now, the third principal part, that's 1, 2, 3. The third principal part is a perfect active, I can spell it there, stem. The fourth principal part is a perfect passive stem. In the present system, kalari is both active and passive. The stem comes from kalari. In the perfect system, the active stem comes from the third principal part, and the passive comes from the fourth principal part. Well, we are obviously looking for the perfect passive. Looking for the perfect passive. How do I identify it? Well, it's just the fourth principal part. There's no formation. We simply take kalatas, which is the fourth principal part of kalo. Right? We have kalatas right here. And the only thing we're going to do is we're going to tell you what declension it belongs to by adding a and A and makes me a first declension adjective. So how do I translate it? Well, we translate it with, key word here is having been. That will really help you later on if you remember having been and then plus whatever the word means and make it in the past tense. Having been hidden. I think there's 2 D's in that. Having been hidden. Keywords having been for the translation. So this is how we form them. This is how we translate them literally. Now, identify them in a text is a little tougher, but we should be able to do it. If we look at Senator Adwinit, we go through this translation. I'm going to give you about, well, hit pause, and I want you to look at this and find all of the participles that you can and decide whether or not they're present active or they're perfect passive. Once you've done that, I will go through each one. So right now, I want you to hit pause and find all your participles. All right, welcome back. The first one that I see is dormi intim. I see the NT. Remember, I've told you that NS or NT, both of those signify that present active participle that we were talking about. So translation for dormi intim is sleeping. Next one, we have, I don't see one yet. Give me a second. Here's another one. Appropriate quantum. That would be a present active participle. Again, we see the NT. Next one, vexatus. I don't have an NT. I have to remember that vexatus is the fourth principal part of vexo. So if I look up wexo, it's going to say wexo, wexari. Those are our present actives. And then it's going to have wexawi. And then the fourth principal part is vexatus. This is the perfect passive stem, and that's why that is a perfect passive participle. As I continue on, I see, do I see any more? This one right here, Participles, is from the fourth principal part, so it is a perfect passive participle. And I'm not seeing, scroll up. Oh, and then we have one more here. We have extracta. That's one of our vocab words. The fourth principal part of extraho is extracta. So that is why I have a perfect passive participle. Again, if I look at extraho, extrahera, extraxi, extractus. These two are present system. These two are perfect system. This is perfect passive. That is perfect passive. All right, well, what would they look like if they belong to the other participle? That's something else we can look at right here. If I look up dormio, the fourth principal part of dormio is dormitus. This one is accusative and singular. It is modifying memorum, which is masculine. Dormitus, therefore, needs to be accusative and masculine. So I would have dormitum if it were perfect passive. It is not, but if that's what I was trying to distinguish between the two. Aprimpenquo as well is present. If I were to look this up, I believe it's the same. Apropinquatus. Again, it is a fourth principal part. I need to make sure it's same case number gender EM, modifying senator, so it is also singular and masculine. So it would have a UM at the end of its fourth principal part. This guy is perfect passive. It is nominative and singular. So I would go find the infinitive. I would take off my RE. That leaves me with A. I would add my NS. And that is already in the nominative form. I'm good. Same thing here, still looking for the nominative. So I would go find the infinitive. The infinitive is ERE, I believe. I take this off, the RE. I add my NS. It's already in the nominative singular, and I'm good. Finally, this one is perfect. I want to make it present. So I start with the infinitive, extrara. Take off the RE. I have an NS. We need to look to see what this is modifying to see if we need to change it. It looks like it's neuter and plural. He handed over the ornaments which were taken away. So it needs to be neuter and plural. So we'll follow our neuter rule, and neuter plurals have to end in A. So we'll have NTIA for our neuters. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If not, let me know, and we'll make another one.